Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniXTCG, and today we are doing the last of 4 rest of set 2 reveals video. So we're gonna finish off with red, talk about the cards that pique my interest, just actually all the cards that we haven't seen yet, and then we're going to move into a archetype review later today, maybe about 2 hours spaced out video wise on this channel. Which archetype is it gonna be from the new set? A little bit of a surprise, unless it's already released and you can see it in your subscription box, whatnot. Point being, we will get into it. Thank you guys for the support. Every video has been popping off lately for Dragon Ball Super Fusion 1, and let's keep that going, get this over 100 likes, and then hop over to the next one that's already going to be here, probably in the description if you've been chilling not on YouTube for most of the day. But yeah, with that being said, let's get into it. Alrighty then, so the first card we have to look at is actually Kakuna. This is a 4-cost, 20,000 power, 10k combo power, activate main once per turn, switch this card to active mode, and then this card gains minus 5k power for the turn. So the cool thing that happens here is you are going to be able to cheat this out using Goku. That's the whole shtick. You can cheat out your 20ks or less that have determinant of power look to them, and then you just drop this on the board. It can swing for 20k. Now the cool thing is it can also untap itself and maybe attack again if you're willing to combo on it, if it needs to attack on something 20k or higher, or it can attack on something that's maybe 15k but turns sideways or reduced in power by another red card. Another cool thing it can do is potentially turn itself upright, so at the very minimum your opponent can't attack it next turn. They have to get rid of it via effect or retap it and then attack it. So all around, not sure if this is really making it into any TOP Goku decks, but it still is an interesting card with interesting applications. We're gonna move over to the next one. We got Katopesla, and besides being one of the most awkward Dokkan banner units that's been released in the past year, sorry if you guys play, you guys know, if you're on JP, but it's a 3-cost, 20k, 10k combo power, on play / when attacking / when KO'd. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards. It gains minus 5,000 power for the turn. So this one's very, very interesting. You play him, you give something minus 5k. You attack with him, you give something minus 5k. So you can potentially wipe out 2 weenies at the same time if they don't combo with the first one. But to be honest, the moment this guy turns sideways and roasts 1 5k off the field, you're probably wanting to drop the other one in a combo to make sure it doesn't get destroyed, Well, actually, to be fair, because it's on play and attacking, you can play it, wipe out a 5k, attack with it, wipe out a 5k. So when it comes to what this guy does, I'm not going to hold you. That's actually pretty cool early game. That's not bad at all, even on curve. Like, that's going to get rid of a lot of stuff. Let's say if Tragedy in Gingertown becomes a popular card, and you've got a lot of 5k humans or earthlings running around waiting to get absorbed into the energy. This is the easiest thing to just play this for 3, minus one of them, attack, minus another one. Like, what are you gonna do? So this is actually a really interesting card. I think the power level is really weird, and I think the on KO effect is very interesting too. If it gets KO'd, your opponent has to know that they have to sequence around KOing something that's gonna minus something by 5k, because that could be the difference between them needing to swing neutral with something or needing a combo to do something with it. So I'm not really quite sure about how I feel about this card. I do just like its ability to clear early game boards though. Then you have Ganos. This guy, Ganos, 3-cost, 20k, 0 combo power, permanent. This card gains plus 25k power when it is in battle with an opponent's battle card. So this is like an even stronger Vegeta from Sat 1. You're gonna be able to play this guy. He's gonna swing into anything with aggression, and because of that, this is maybe not even a bad card to put in general. If we get sideboards, excellent for sure, but this is by far a really, really good clearer for battle cards. If you're playing TOP Goku, this is something you can put in the deck just to cheat it in and be like, okay, here we go. But red is going to have a lot of cards to potentially contest a person's like battle cards in general. So this card is very interesting. I think it's going to be a sealed monster, but we're going to have another video for that coming up in this week. The next card we have here is Kefla, a 2-cost, 20k, 5k combo power, critical, and on play, add 1 card from your life to your hand. This card, juicy, okay? This is what we needed for Crit Beerus last set, because this card is going to be a card that's going to give you your life the moment it's played. And you can either attack with Beerus and not attack with this, or if you fear it being touched, you can always attack with this because it's already given you the card. If they attack on this, like, you're gonna find red has no problem awakening at 4 life. Like, any red deck that needs to awaken at 4 life can play a Roshi turn 1, a Hit, a Kefla turn 2, or a Krillin, and then a Gohan or a SR Goku turn 3, and you're pretty much there if they attacked you 1 time. If you started off with the Roshi, then you're pretty much there even if they attacked you no times. They didn't clear the Roshi after the very first turn. So this card is going to do a lot of cool things, but I think I love the pressure that it can add to Beerus in general. Being an Awakener that also adds on to crit, because we had the Vegeta, and while the Vegeta boasted another 10k combo power, it also did not self-awaken you, and it had 15k power. So you'd play it and essentially just have to do nothing with it, and when they attack it, it's just a -1 from your hand. Whereas this at least replaces itself and gets you closer to awakening. So very much so like this. Next, you have Quintella, and this is a 2-cost 20k 5k combo power card. On play, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 15k power or less and KO it. This is a very, very, very strong card. And I don't even know why I said that. I was thinking of another card. This is not a strong card. This is this is not a strong card at all. But actually, you know what? This is interesting, because I'm seeing a lot of cards that can do things on early turns. You have got your a lot of setup cards in red. Like, you don't want Roshis to stay on the field for long. Sometimes you don't want cards like your Zamasus, but Zamasus are getting more and more protection from destructions. But there are a lot of cards in the early game that you could probably get around with a card like this, a turn 2 out. Even in set 1 right now, red decks are almost limited by the fact of, can you get rid of your opponent's Whis? Can you get rid of your opponent's Roshi? Quintella might be an essential card if we get to a red dominated format where that early game removal is quintessential to winning, because you may be able to remove a Whis or you may be able to remove like a Roshi or something very easily, but very rarely can you remove a Whis, because Whis is a 10k instead of a 5k, so it's very hard to get that off the board in the first 2 turns of the game, and he will put in work those first 2 turns of the game. He effectively locks your opponent out of playing their own Roshi and stuff like that. So Quintella is actually really, really not bad. We just got to see how the format pans out. Next, we have got the this Cabba, 3-cost 20k 10k combo power, a blocker, permanent opponent's turn. This card gains plus 5k power. And I'm not even gonna hold you. He would need a way to not be targetable, to not be fraudulent. This card is being tapped by yellow. This card is being bounced by blue. As a 3-cost, only so much time can go forward until, you know, green can't handle it. And red can erase this guy. There are just more and more cards that if you're playing ban for ban, like, you know, like 3-cost for 3-cost, red can definitely annihilate this card. So I'm not very high on this card. Maybe cool in another sealed monster, but yeah, I'm not really high on this card at all. Now, speaking of cards I am high on, you got 3-cost Kefla, 20k, 1,000 or 10,000 power, and then on play, if your leader's awakened, draw 1 card. So the coolest part about this one is when you looked at TOP Goku, he is a -1 to then, you discard a card to play a card from your hand with 20k or less. If you're playing the 4-cost SR Kefla, you were then drawing a card to replace her, so you've only gone -1 card in hand, but then you're playing another card in hand. And that right there is going to just kind of be a like, oh, well, I mean, okay, you've gone down 2 cards in hand, but yeah, you've added 2 bodies to the board. However, when you have this card on here, you're going to be able to drop a card, right? Well, if you have 5 cards in hand, you're dropping a card, you're playing the Kefla 4-cost, you're drawing from the Kefla, you're playing this Kefla, you're drawing again, making it a -1 for 2 bodies instead of a -2. That's going to be from hand. That's going to be a great, great, great alleviation to your combo power, as well as the ability to cycle through your deck and see your outs more. If you're playing Kefla outside of TOP Goku, you play Kefla and for 4, she immediately is going to replace herself. Then you play this and you're actually replacing that. So you just added 2 bodies to the board and you didn't lose a single piece of card advantage in hand unless you drew blanks. That is wonderful. That is what we'd like to see. And as a 10k combo power, if you never found a place to play it, you still have it in hand. Very much so love this, and it goes neutral with most leaders. There's not much else to say about this. Card is solid. This is just all around good. Next, we've got a 1-cost Cidra, 1-cost 15k, 0 combo power. On play, choose up to one of your opponent's cards with 5k power or less and destroy it. This card, if Quintella was good, this card is great. I think Quintella probably has a little bit more function, but you have a lot of good stuff you can use with this. Like this provided, like I said, if we get side decks, this is gonna go crazy because you can literally be like, well, my opponent, I went first and I played my Roshi, and my opponent went first and they played their Roshi, and then you can be like, okay, I'm gonna play Cidra and blow up yours and still have mine. There are things like that. That being said, though, I do have to backpedal. I bet Quintella is probably better because Quintella can get rid of Whis, which is one of the hugest points I was trying to drive home. That's not something you can do with the other one. Next, moving on, we have Son Goku, 3-cost with 25k power, 5k combo power, critical, and then that's a strong card. Now note that this card cannot be cheated out by TOP Goku despite having his actual, it's like him on the card, but this can be brought out by Kefla because Kefla doesn't have a power requirement, Kefla has a level requirement, or not a level requirement, a cost requirement. So Kefla can drop this, and you can play Kefla and then drop a 25k critical out of your hand. That being said, while critical is dangerous, I do believe the critical is more dangerous in the beginning of the game, middle of the game, than the late game. Late game, you know, you have more resources, you have more energy, you can use extra cards more effectively, whereas in the early game, crit is almost bullying your hand or bullying your life, which in turn bullies your hand because you're not getting those cards. So I definitely feel like interesting, but I don't really see him, especially with 5k combo power, I'm not seeing him making the cut for everything. And then we have Basil, which is a 1-cost searcher for TOP. Is bringing it all together. 5-cost, or 1-cost, 5k, 5k combo power. On play, look at the 5 cards on the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 non-Basil card with a cost of 4 or less, and turn on the power and its special traits. Add it to your hand, place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Very, very, very nice. Note that this is not the last time we're going to see turn on the power. Notice we have not gotten a Mastered Ultra Instinct card, nor any of Universe 11 with Jiren, Dispo, Topo. They're coming back. They are coming back. We still have yet to get Evolution Blue. We still have yet to get Master Ultra Instinct, Jiren, Dispo, Topo. I'm assuming we're going to have a Gohan Piccolo card teaming up. We've seen enough cards bounce off each other. We're going to get more turn on the power cards. So this card will be a premier searcher for quite some time. So yeah, not too much to say about that, just a good card in general. And now, real quick, as per usual, let's give a quick word from our sponsors. So gotta spread the awareness, I am indeed sponsored by Mystic TCG, the coolest store in Missouri, one of the coolest stores in the United States. They hold their own events, they hold locals, they sell so many popular card games, and maybe even some obscure ones that you may not be hip to yet. Only one way to find out though, go to that site and check it out yourself. You can pre-order a new product, you can buy a product that's already out, you can go on the Facebook and message the team. Eden, the owner of the whole company, he buys singles, he buys collections, he buys prize cards, he sells singles. Yeah, he is that dude. And whether you're playing Dragon Ball, One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh, you can find him at a lot of big events where he will be there to vend. Or whether it's just, you know, vending as an official capacity, or if you just have a high profile card that you want to get off, he is that guy. So go down in the description, check out the code UNIXTCG to get discounts off that product. And then if you're above the border, I definitely have something for you. That would be G3. G3 is also another cool store that holds their own events. They sell cards, they buy cards, they hold a lot of product, and they are your Canadian buddies. If you're in there, in the area, give them a shot, give them a chance, come in, check it out. There's also a link in the description to get a little discount off of their product too. And yeah, if you like Dragon Ball Super Masters, they have one of the best teams in the world, taking up 3 top cut places at last national event. So with that being said, the last thing I just wanted to put out here is that I'm doing a bunch of stuff in the Universe X sphere, whether that be here with the card games, UniXDB with Dragon Ball related content in general, or Universe X Gaming, where I put my games up either streaming on Twitch, streaming on the channel on YouTube, or the VLODs on YouTube for everybody to check up later. So with that being said, I'm going to hop back over to the content. If you want to check out the Patreon for this channel, we are currently putting up all sorts of content for Dragon Ball Super, like Fusion World. That's really it. Working on a everything red article, but also going to go over the next archetype in depth, even giving like a mock deck list for you guys to check out on. So make sure you check out the next video and maybe think about hitting that Patreon. Back to the content. So coming back to look at these cards right now, we have got Paperoni. Man, Toriyama is his name, man. Rest his soul. We got one cost 5k, 10k power, and activate main once per turn 3. Look at 7 cards from the top of your deck, play 1 Analyza with 30,000 power or less, place the rest at the bottom of your deck in a random order. I don't put the vanillas in here because I don't want to take up space in the video looking at the vanillas, but there is a 30,000 power vanilla Analyza that is in this set that you can cheat out essentially by paying 3. You're paying 3 to try to look at your top 7. You could potentially whiff, and then yeah, I don't like this card. It's just not for me. Unless they make another Analyza card that works alongside, that's just not for me. Following that, we've got a Piccolo. This Piccolo is a 1 cost 5,000 power, 5,000 combo power, on play draw 1 card. Interesting, he is a tournament of power card, so he's going to be searchable off of Basil, and he has synergy with other TOP cards. The other interesting thing is, this makes red, if I'm not mistaken, the first and only color to have 8 total draw ones in the deck. Not sure if this is going to come into play, but if you ever have a deck that is so streamlined, it does not need other cards. It just needs 30 or 42 cards. You now have 8 potential blanks that you can put in the deck. So those are a thing. Those are a thing. And he's Piccolo, so I'm playing that over Roshi, in all honesty. You can't stop me. Then you've got a 1 cost 15k, 5k combo power Frieza. Permanent your turn. If your leader is awakened, this card gains plus 5,000 power. So cool thing about this is if you thought Tien was a bad boy, the 1-drop 15k vanilla, just wait till you get a load of this guy. He is legitimately going to come down in U7 Goku as a 25k swinger on your turn. Just turning sideways for 25k is amazing for a 1-drop. Something that's able to even pressure Broly, or next soon to be Zamasu, with his 25k base body. So this card's a really, really interesting card, and I'm wondering if this is going to be something that helps U7 Goku go to another level of power. Just being able to push through with another 1-drop, it's kind of insane when you think about it. Moving on to the next card, we've got a 3 cost 20k, 10,000 combo power Vegeta. On play, choose all of your opponent's battle cards with 5k power or less and KO them. I like the early game hate, but I do feel like if you're using your turn 3, like granted, this might be better. This might just strictly be better. If we were already talking about destroying things with 5k on 3, this is not bad. This can get rid of multiple things at one time. I definitely think this is a kind of a side card though, 100%. But if we ever get into a format where a deck just piles on the weenies and starts doing silly things with them, then this is an excellent card to have. So watch out for it. I think that format shifts can make this card more or less valuable, but yeah. And then we have this Bergamo, 2 cost, 15k, 10k combo power, permanent, your turn, all of your battle cards with Trio to Dangers and their special traits gain plus 5k power. So basically you play him for 2, he's a 20k. But you'll allow your, Basils to become, your Basil searchers to become 5k. Or 5k to stronger, making it 10k, I don't know. Unless you're playing, Bergamo into Bergamo, making them both 25ks, then I don't really see this really popping off, but it is what it is. But speaking of Trio de Dangers, you've got another 2 cost 15k, 10k combo power. You got Lavender, and when attacking, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards that gains minus 5k power for the turn for each card with Trio de Dangers and its special traits in your battle area. So for the most part, they all work off each other except Basil. Basil just searches, but these two, I guess, kind of a stack. I don't know. I'm not really seeing that as a core. Moving on to the next card, you have got Ribrianne, and this card is something special. 4 cost, 20k, 10k combo power, double strike. Yeah, TOP Goku cheats in a double strike for 1 energy, but any other red deck can play a double strike for 4 energy and then potentially put your entire hand behind it. This is actually insane. You wouldn't think that the 1 energy makes a difference, but it's not just the 1 energy. 1 energy, and you do trade that for 15k combo power, but the most, or 15k power on between the SR Goku from the starter deck and this, but this also has 10k combo power, so it's not going to be a brick in hand if you draw it too early in the game or at a crucial moment. I think Ribrianne really does change the landscape of red as a color. I'm serious. And now we're gonna move over to the extra cards. You've got Clash of the Strongest, and oh my gosh, the TP card looks amazing, but that's a whole nother video as well. 2 cost, activate main, choose all of your battle cards with turn of power and their special traits in the game plus 1k for the turn, or 10k for the turn. This is very interesting because cards like this could blow your opponent out of the water. You have a 20, a 25k, a 25k, a 25k, and a 20k, and then you play Clash of the Strongest and then turn everything sideways. You could potentially blow your opponent to Kingdom Come. However, you also just kind of have a point where, I mean, let's be real about it. If you happen to not have a board, this card does nothing. So we really have to see the state of the game, how the format kind of goes on. If we ever had a format where the best deck in the game was not popping things, it was just going face and it wasn't really good at removing board, this is the card where you can rely on. But I feel like between red doing all this minus, between blue being able to bounce and tuck all this stuff, between green being green, I'm not sure if this card has the ability to have a board worth boosting, you know? Now on to the next card, you've got Saved by a Barrier. This is a 1 cost extra card. Activate battle your opponent's turn. Choose your leader or up to 1 of your battle cards. It gains plus 20k power for the battle. Then if the chosen card is a battle card, it cannot be KO'd in battle for the turn. This is really, really cool. Now granted, of course, there's like a jillion ways to get around, you know, not being able to be KO'd by battle. But this is still a really cool card in the sense that, you know, your opponent could literally want to destroy something. You just be like, nah, I'm good. No matter what, unless you can blow this 6 or this 5 cost up, this guy's staying. He's just staying. You can't make me take this away. Like, that's awesome. I think that there are going to be formats down the line, maybe not this format, but there are going to be formats down the line where this card really shows up and does like some honest to goodness work. And that is going to be the last card of red. So let's actually just like go into the closing, kind of talk about what we're looking for, or what we're kind of looking at, how I feel about it. So all in all, I think that red is definitely packing a lot more come this set. Between Kefla being able to cheat other things into play via a lot of cards that just by red's normal, normal devices, it just has good solid stat lines. 20 and 25 are just such a good stat line to land on with most of its valid cards. Red has not had a shortage of removal, but in this set it gains more removal, more ways to minus things down to 0. Overall, just a powerhouse in general. It's just a strong color. And then on top of that, to get even bigger, we have double strikers that we can just play for 4. That's insane. So many cards that have 10k combo value. I'm really just starting to believe that red is just quintessential. If red wasn't the strongest color or next to the strongest color this set, it's definitely got a huge shot at being there the following set. So we're gonna definitely be doing some brewing. We have about 2 weeks before just over 2 weeks before the first regional, and I'm in it to win it. I want to show you guys. I want to show you guys the amount of work I've been putting in. So with that being said, we're going to close out. We're finishing our red thing because there's been so much going on with set 2 and personal life, but we're finishing that, and we're also going to have a companion article for the video that's coming up after this video today. So be on the lookout for that. While we are speaking about the Patreon, gotta give the credit where the credit is due. What we have here are the Realm of Xers, which are the Big Daddy Flapjacks, the Brewers, the Bryce R's, the Kevin I's, the Mario V's, and the Mr. Top Decks of the world. Thank you guys for giving me the extra oomph on the Patreon. I appreciate it, and I will keep doing my best to uphold content that is exclusive for the Patreon members. And if you want to join, all you gotta do is hop over in the link in the description, check out the $5 tier or higher, and just become a part of the deeper cut for this card game in my content. So thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video.